Now, how did you wind up in the WWF?
After working that long period of time with the Rock and Roll Express, we were going to work with them at one of the Starrcades. It was in Richmond, Virginia, or whatever.
Okay.
And Nikita was going to work with, I don't know if it was Dusty or Flair or whoever in Richmond. But it was Ivan Koloff and myself against the Rock and Roll Express. And we built these hour-long matches and everything to meet in Richmond. And when you're one of the main events, you get paid more than you do if you're an opening match or whatever. Well, Dusty came up to me one day and he goes, Barry, baby, you're not going to be working with the Rock and Roll Express. We're putting Nikita in your place. And I told Dusty, I said, that's bullshit. I said, every night for an hour, every night, and built this match, and you're putting Nikita in there. That's when I got pissed at Nikita.
Okay.
Because, when you wrestle an hour every single day, everywhere, and build this for every town.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's got a cakewalk where he walks in and he's going to make the money after working that hard. I mean, it really pissed me off.
Yeah.
So Dusty says, don't worry about it. He says, you're going to make the same pay. And when you're in those territories, you're working months for peanuts to get to that big show to finally make your money.
Okay.
So I mean that's your life. You got to pay your bills. You got to
you're counting on that, right?
That's your money for the year. You know, and there's only 3 or 4 of those big paydays.
Yeah.
So he said, well, you're going to make the same amount of money and everything, but it really hit me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time I got mad at Nikita, because Nikita should have said, no, Barry should be in that match. Him and Ivan are the partners. They've been working for 3 months, busting their balls in every one of those deals.
Right.
But he never did. He had the match.
Yeah.
And the match ain't going to be as good as the ones that me and Ivan had, because he couldn't work a lick.
Right.
I mean, everybody had to work around him.
Yeah.
And so they put me with Sam Houston because me and Sam had great matches. And it was great working with Sam. We tore the house down, did everything, but here were the 3rd match instead of the 9th match.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
So they have the match, and they have a good match. You can't have a bad match with Ivan and the Rock and Roll Express. So it became payday the next Tuesday. And I got my check. I look at it, and I said, all right. I was working it.
Yeah.
I said, Ivan, how'd you do? And Ivan goes, yeah, I got $8,300 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I said, you son of a bitch. I got like $4,300. So,
yeah.
And Ivan looks at me, he goes, Barry, please don't do it. I said, Ivan, I am so honest. I said, when somebody tells me something, they better be as honest as I am to them.
Right.
And I said, I don't give a crap. I said, I don't need this business. I can go get a job somewhere else. I worked my way up to this far, and I think I'm good enough. I can get another job somewhere else. And Ivan says, Barry, just, go home. Skip interviews. I'll do them today. And he says, don't go in there and talk to Dusty. Because he knew that
he would get heat, right?
Well, he wasn't worried about that. He was worried about me quitting because me and him were partners.
Right.
And I said, Ivan, it was bullshit. I said, I was supposed to be in that match. I said, I don't really care about the money, but that's how you work this deal. You work your angles, and you're the guy.
Yeah.
And I said, they screwed me. Bottom line, I said, if they screw me once, they'll screw me twice.
Right.
So I said, I have to quit. I said, unless they pay me the money that they said they were going to pay, I won't leave. So I get up, and during interviews, and Ivan says, Barry, don't go. I went and I knocked on Dusty's door. I said, Dusty, what the hell is this? And he goes, what? I said, you told me that because I wasn't going to be in that match, I'm going to make the same as what those guys are. I said, I made about $4,000 less than they did. I said, and I was counting on that money. He goes, Barry, I don't know anything about it. You're going to have to go talk to Jimmy. He's the guy who pays it, Jimmy Crockett.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, are you sure you want me to go talk to Jimmy? By that time, I was ready to kill him.
Yeah.
I was ready to wring him by the neck.
Yeah.
So I go in his office. I said, Jim, I worked this whole program with the Rock and Roll Express. You put Nikita in there. He makes the money. I work with Sam Houston, don't make any money. I said, that's wrong. Dusty told me that you said I was going to make the same amount of money. That's what was going to satisfy me.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you ain't going to make the same amount of money. I said, can I say something on TV?
Sure.
I said, Jimmy, you fucking asshole. And I ain't like this.
Yeah.
I said, I had to come over to that desk and I had to just fucking wring your fucking neck. I said, you're a liar, you're a thief. I said, this is bullshit. I said, either you pay me this fucking money or I says, I'm leaving. And he goes, leave. I said, you don't think I'll leave? So then all of a sudden I thought, if I nail him, I said, I'll kill him. He's just a little sweet guy, So I said, fuck, I'm done, So I go into Dusty's office. I said, Dusty, I said, here's the belt. I said, we're the tag team champions. I said, Ivan and myself, not Nikita and Ivan. I said, here's the belt. I said, I'm done. He goes, Barrett, no, I'll fix this. Please don't leave. He says, we got our whole long program. And I said, no, Dusty. I said, it's past that. I said, when a guy lies, I said, I should have knocked the shit out of him. But I said, I can't go to jail right now. I said, me and the wife were trying to have a baby, and I don't want to go to jail and prison and all this stuff. I said, I'm better off just leaving. And Dusty hugged me. He goes, Barry, I'm really sorry. And, just so you know, it ain't me. And I said, I know. But really, it is Dusty. He's the booker of the damn thing, So I walked by and I hugged every single one of the guys, Bobby Eaton and Dennis and the Rock and Roll Express, and they were so pissed. It's like, I can't believe it. And I said, it's not even the money. It's they lied. I said,
right.
I'm the jabroni now. I said, they know I'll do anything they want me to do. And I said, that was the worst thing ever. I should have said no.
Yeah.
I should have never even gave up the belts to you guys, Ricky and Robert. And he goes, yeah, you shouldn't have. That's where the old school, when the promoter says, yeah, I want you to drop the belt to so-and-so. And they'd say, are you kidding me? Give me $100,000 and I'll drop the belt. Otherwise, it's going to be a shoot. You know how many times it was the real deal in the ring?
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the old school way, But I was in the new generation. Everybody worked with everybody. And Jimmy was still the old school.
Wow.
In fact, when I see him the next time, I should knock the shit out of him. One slap. He's probably, 80 years old now? Yeah. So anyways, that was... After all that was done, I took a week or two off, and me and my wife were, trying to have a kid for quite a while. And I called up Earl Hebner, and I said, Earl, can you talk to David? I need to get Vince's number and call Vince. And so I called up David, and I said, David, I need to talk to Vince. I said, I need to get a job up there. Can you help me out? David goes, well, here, let me talk to him. We got TV or something, and I'll mention you and, see if there's anything open up there. And then next day, all of a sudden, I'm at home eating breakfast or something, sitting back, no job, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and is this Barry Darsow? Yeah. Vince McMahon here. He says, yeah, can you come up to my office? I hear you're looking for a job, And I said, yeah, when do you want me? And he goes, well, what's your schedule like? I said, well, just a minute. I'm making like I'm looking through the stuff. He goes, well, how about Thursday? Can I shoot up there? And he goes, I'll have a limousine for you. Your plane tickets will be ready Thursday morning and all this stuff. And flew up there, and that was the deal.
Wow.
Made it big.
Yeah. Do you want me to pause this while you grab a slice? Or?
Yeah. Why not you?
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are kind of slave drivers. I turn into an alcoholic and I'm eating pizza, and you got a guy over here ready to die. He's sleeping. And guy, what the heck?
I know. You should have seen what we did to the Chinese employees.
So I'm going to eat some pizza then while you're doing this.
Okay, very cool. All right, so the last thing you said was you were sitting at home and Vince gave you the call.
Gave me the call and flew up and saw Vince. And what was funny is I wasn't nervous anymore because this was a job interview that I knew I could do. I could work, I could do interviews, and I was ready for the top deal. And I went up there, and I had no idea what he was asking me to do. And he was just trying to feel out what kind of a person I was. And, you know, at that time I was 310 pounds and a monster and in shape and, you know, young. And he made me sign a contract that I couldn't say what he was going to talk about. And I ended up, he said, I want you to become Bill Eadie's partner as Demolition Smash. And you can't repeat that to anybody, you know, and that was the contract I signed. So I'm thinking at the time, they probably didn't tell Randy Colley yet that he was out.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I went home and he says, I'll put you on the payroll starting right away. He says, but you're not going to start until after WrestleMania. Was it, you know, the Silverdome, was it 3?
3, yes.
So I was under contract already before that. So I was getting paid to train and, you know, sit home. Yeah. Which was great. And
was that the first long break that you had since you started your career?
First break I ever had.
Yeah.
And went to the Super Bowl party in Tampa, Florida. He invited me and my wife down there.
Oh, wow.
So that was, what, January... When's the Super Bowl? January?
January. Last week of January, sometimes first week in February.
So I was already under contract before that. So it was January, February, March, April. He had me under contract for about 3-4 months. But I did a couple of house shows and a couple of TVs before WrestleMania that didn't show till after.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I probably only worked 4 or 5 times in 3-4 months, and I was getting paid and more money than I ever made in my life, you know.
Yeah.
And when he invited me to the Super Bowl party, so me and my wife went down Tampa, Florida, and all the guys were there. And he rented a huge, you know, room with, you know, all the wrestlers and their wives and everything, and feast and drinking. And I'm looking at my wife and I'm saying, can you believe this? This is it.
Yeah.
And you're like a movie star now.
Yeah.
You know? And for 2 years we were trying to have a baby, and we're staying in Fort Myers, and she walks out of the room and I looked at her and I said, you're pregnant. And that was the Super Bowl Sunday weekend that we were with Vince. And she says, no, I'm not pregnant. I said, I'm telling you right now, you're pregnant. 2 days later, she took a test, she was pregnant. So I knew she was pregnant before she did. And that all, you know, the time off, and probably relaxed getting paid, and, you know, she ended up getting pregnant.
Wow.
And that's something.
That is something. And so at the Super Bowl party, was that the first time that you met Bill?
No.
Okay.
Exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.